Hey guys, what's up? Perception X here. So today we're going to be talking about all four world bosses. I got 5 runs to do. I'm going to do a run on each one, showing more or less what they do throughout the battle, what their weaknesses are, who to use, physical versus energy or elemental. We're going to start out with Ebony Maw, and Ebony Maw is an elemental. You want to attack with elemental. So if we go into here and we'll just leave it on 1, and over here you got cut time and you got resistance. So if you look at resistance, it says damage from physical types is reduced, and damage is reduced as long as it is not an elemental attack. So you want to use an elemental attack, is the best attack for Ebony. Now, realistically, I mean, you can use energy. Obviously, if you got high DPS, then you're going to be doing an okay amount of damage. The higher the stage you go, the harder he's going to get. So there's going to be, it's going to start whittling it down to very few characters. For me, I mainly use for each one on a high level, which I don't have all my world bosses on a high level, just speaking from the old world boss ultimate. It really came down to 1 or 2 characters for most world bosses for me. So I'm going to back this up. I don't even know how high I am. I usually just run all stage 1 and hope that I can get the crystals. Books I'm pretty well maxed out on. Not on this account. This is actually not my perception account. This is a different account. So I'm actually going to be doing a run on both accounts just to kind of better show. But this one is my cryptic account, and I actually have 4 accounts. So this one is kind of the one that I put mostly on the back burner. I usually take care of Ecliptic more than I do anybody else, but Vanisher and Cryptic actually gets put back on the back burner. And those are my other 3 besides for the Perception, which is my 4th one, my main account. But we will get back into here. And obviously, Scarlet Witch is going to do major damage. She's not, it's going to just, take seconds for me to beat them. Kind of looking for somebody who's a little bit lower. Alright, so we're going to be using these 3. We got ice, we got mind, we got fire. So 3 different elemental attacks. All of them are energy. So the physical, as you can see, it says damage from physical attacks is reduced. And then you also got damage is reduced as long as it's not an elemental attack. So realistically, if the wording is correct, I haven't actually tested it out, but physical damage should be the least one that you want. Energy would be your second, and obviously elemental is going to be your first, so it's pretty easy to get elemental from energy. You do have some physical attack characters like Widow that does have elemental attack, so she does lightning, and actually she does pretty good at with Ebony Maw at a lower stage. So I'm going to use all 3 of these characters on this one run here, just to kind of show you guys. It's on stage 1. Cryptic is not as high as Perception is as far as the levels go for the World Boss Ultimate. So I'm not going to be doing as much damage with this account versus my perception account. My perception account, I don't even remember what he's up to, but I'm pretty sure he's somewhere roughly 60, 70 or 80 levels. I can't even remember what it's called right now, but yeah, so I got that extra boost in the attack, the defense, and all that other good stuff. But I'll show that when I switch over to perception, and also show on this one after I get done with ebony where I'm at. That way you can kind of see where I'm at with both of them. Now, Ebony Maw, he has certain attacks. I've already done a video on Ebony Maw, and there is certain times that you can really maximize on damage. Now when he does this right here, you want to run on the outside. As soon as he gets done with this, he's going to do another attack. And one more. And then from there, you can attack him. And you can really maximize on damage on the lower stages. Can't even hit him right now. That attack right there, you want to run. The main thing is to avoid that rolling boulder. That rolling boulder will kill you. If not, it'll take you right down to, you know, an inch of your life. Now I used certain characters, lower characters, for Ebony Maw, so I kind of show them a little bit better. And then kind of run around here and show what Ebony Maw does. These all follow in order and also follow pretty much a life pattern. So in between this and 6 and 8 more or less, he's going to do that big circle. And you're going to want to run to the outside. And then he's going to follow with this attack here after that, and then that attack there after that. There's a certain pattern to each world boss, so as long as you pay attention and kind of notice that where the life is when they do that, you'll have a good basis of what's going to happen before it even happens. Now with Ebony Maw, he's actually pretty easy as far as character wise. As you can see, I'm just sitting here pushing buttons, and I mean, I'm going to definitely win. If I time stuff out a little bit better, I can definitely take his life down a whole lot quicker. But yeah, so Elemental does the best for Ebony Maw. Now, you realistically don't want to use, obviously, these characters. These characters will work. There are 3 characters that can definitely beat Ebony Maw pretty easy, as long as, and actually, they all can go head to head with Ebony Maw on stage 1, and you can definitely win. The only one I really have built right up, and I wouldn't even really say built right up, is Dorm. The other ones, I don't really. My ISOs are low, and I'm not even quite for sure on all my setups on them, but I don't really pay attention to this count that much. I go through about once a week, and I do as much as I possibly can throughout all the characters. So I'm not going to actually complete this one. If I used Scarlet Witch, it would have been dead in pretty well seconds. But I'm going to go over here to Wolverine real quick. Now Wolverine has a pretty good DPS, so he should be able to do a good amount of damage. All besides for his attack's going to be reduced on Ebony Maw. So I'm just going to do a really quick run with him, just kind of show the damage that's reduced, versus later on show you a World Boss Ultimate that you would be using him on that just annihilates the life. So the characters that you use and the patterns that they use are the two most important things for World Boss. So we're almost 30 seconds in, and that's how much life I've taken from Ebony Maw. As you can see, I'm hitting them. I even have Hulk coming out, slamming them. So the characters that you use are definitely going to matter. If you don't have the strongest characters, the best characters more or less to use on them, then you're going to really, really seriously want to pay attention to the timing that they do their moves, so that you can dodge them. Let's do Prox. Proxima, she is... You want to use physical attack on her. And we'll just go ahead and leave it on these characters here. I'm not really too worried about the strikers. But you want to use physical attack. She has a better defense on the energy, and she also has I believe she has an immunity to energy attacks at a point. Much like Black Dwarf, he has an immunity to physical attacks, so you want to use energy on him. Now with the Prox, you've got to watch the circles. And she does follow a timing of life, but you really got to watch the circles and pretty much right where you're stepping. And the reason why is because when it happens quick. So what I like to do is I like to attack and move. And when she does this, if you run back and just kind of dodge it, that's one hit that is going to take your life right down. These circles should be right there. You want to make sure not to get caught up in those ones. And there's also another attack where I believe that they're a lot like that one right there. It's a little bit different, but they just come right down and they just keep slamming you. So when you see those circles pop up, especially if they're starting to come in or they're happening right below your feet, you either want to run, and if you can't run, you want to switch to another character so you can pop out with immunity. Now with proc, she can break up. So it's not going to work all the time, but it gives you a chance to get out of the area. And as you can see with Wolverine, he just annihilated the life there. So there's so many other good ones that you could use on procs, and pretty much just about any good DPS physical characters. Ebony Maw again, any good DPS elemental damage. So for an example, um, AO has a energy attack leadership boost and also has a elemental boost. So if you put him as leader, then you're going to be boosting the elemental and you're going to be boosting the energy. We'll say you put Jean or Scarlet Witch on there. They're just going to annihilate Ebony Maw. Alright, so over to the troll call. So so pretty much with call you want to use energy. I'm not going to use Scarlet Witch again because Scarlet Witch would just annihilate them in seconds. And instead I'm going to switch down, and also not going to use Cable because Cable annihilates them in seconds too. But we will say Sharon. Again, not too worried about the strikers. So the energy damage is best for Call. The reason why is he has one heck of a physical defense and a physical immunity. When he goes down and his life bar changes colors, if you're attacking with physical attack only, you can't do any damage to him. Then he's gonna do his one burst, and if you don't have enough health or enough defense, then he's gonna end up pretty well either almost killing you or killing you. So just to show you, without doing anything special. And she also has a mixture of physical attacks because of the sword. Now, to me, Call is the easiest World Boss Ultimate. So many characters can take him head on and not really have to worry too much about dying, especially with 3 different people. I could just sit here and take his life down, die. As long as I have a good character on here that is energy attack, I'm not going to have a problem killing him. Much like Warlock, I'm just sitting here slamming buttons on stage 1. Obviously, as you get higher in stages, again with the World Boss Ultimates, they're going to get a lot harder. So I like to not take my time and just play stage 1, beat them the 5 times, move on. Reason why, again, is because I have 4 profiles, and I'm not playing on my normal profile, I'm playing on my Cryptic profile, Cryptic X. So again on Cryptic X, I don't have anybody completely maxed out. Well, I can't say I don't have anybody. I have few characters that are built pretty well, and the ones that are built pretty well, they were built a year and a half ago. it's been quite a while since I've actually went through and critiqued every single character on here. So I go through about once a week. And I said this before, but just kind of recap on it. Go through about once a week, and upgrade as much as I possibly can. I might change a few things around on some characters, but it's not a consistent character or anything like that. Uh, some of the world bosses or the major uniforms that have been added, I have got those and built up those characters pretty much all in one shot. So I don't have anybody like specially built on this one. It's just they're built how they're built, more or less. And the reason why is I'm going to go through with my main account, Perception X, and I'm going to go through with him and just kind of do the same thing without any explanations, just kind of on a secondary. And the reason why is because I'm so much higher on levels with him that my boost for my attack, my defense, and all that good stuff is just so much more than what it is on Cryptic. Cryptic kind of will give you is more on the normal base side. So people who have been playing for a certain amount of time, say about a year, give or take some months. Some people who have been playing for a year have done some major building. But on a general basis, people that have been playing for about a year is kind of where Cryptic is at. And so moving on to the last one, we got Corvius. So Corvius is actually pretty easy too. There's mainly two different attacks that you want to watch out for. The main one is where he jumps back and he shoots fireballs at you. They're not necessarily fireballs, but that's the closest thing I can think of. So with him, you want to use physical attack. And the reason why is if I actually went into his thing and showed you, he has the gosh, it'd be so much better just to go in here and show you. So as you can see, he is a physical attack, and on my guy, he actually has a higher physical defense, but physical attacks actually work good for him. Energy attacks do too, but physical attacks actually work the best. So just real quick, I'm gonna choose these ones. Yep. And just kind of show you real quick with each one of them. So we got two high damage or high DPS characters on here on both sides, and then we also have one that is a high DPS or good DPS, but not to the point of the other two. So with Quicksilver and physical attacks, you see his life bar just drop right down. Scarlet, I slammed him with button 5, didn't do anything to him. And she also died right away. And just as a reminder, this is also stage 1. So the fire that he shoots out is definitely what you want to mainly watch out for. And here in just a short, he's going to jump back to that wall. When he shoots those fireballs out, you really want to be careful. Those ones will kill you real quick. So you definitely want to pay attention to watch when he jumps back to that wall there. You can see how much damage I'm doing with a physical attack character. So, right there, they give you the lines. All you gotta do is just run back and forth. And you can dodge every single one of them pretty easy, actually. He's gonna shoot these ones out right afterwards. And those tornadoes will come out pretty well the time to start attacking them. If you have a high DPS physical attack, you'll annihilate them in just a matter of seconds. And that is his other attack you want to watch out for. I didn't even realize he was doing it, but that attack there, he just comes from all sides and he just starts more or less stabbing you. That right there will take down any character that I know of, if they don't have really high HP or defense. So that's definitely something you want to watch out for. And then real quick, I'm just going to jump back in on my last one. I'm going to choose 1 physical damage character and 2 energy. One elemental. We'll just choose cable. Now, I'm not saying that energy damage doesn't work good for stage 1, but when you get up into higher stages, the physical damage is going to do so much better. You're going to find out that the energy damage that you're trying to do is going to go down way faster than what the physical damage is. So when I do bring these ones up to a higher level, I'll go back through and do another video on them all. Proxima currently is the only one that I have actually at stage 19, not the highest, but you know, high enough to actually get a hard level in. Stage 1 is pretty simple. You don't really have to have your guys completely maxed out or anything like that to beat these bosses. Cards play a good part, as well as build does, and also paying attention to their moves so that you can, you know, pretty well not die. As long as you have decent DPS and you can stay alive, you're going to end up beating these guys before the time runs out. So there's that attack I told you guys, one that you need to watch out for. It just annihilates you. So Cable does good in stage 1 and probably other ones because of his DPS. And so do some other ones. And that was just his first life, but higher up in the stages, the energy attacks are not gonna hold up as well as what the physical attacks are going to. Now with Cable, he'll end up stopping Cable a lot. So, ouch, the Biggest thing is timing. If you can get in between an attack, then you can end up getting enough life bars off from him. But if you start an attack just before his attack, he's going to end up stopping your attack. And then you're going to try another attack, and he's going to end up stopping that one. So you want to do a timing with Cable if you use Cable on him. Obviously, Cable has awesome DPS, much as a lot of the other characters, and works great at stage 1. And when I get it higher into stage, about stage 15, stage 20 with some of these World Boss Ultimates, I'll go through and post another video on. But for now, just kind of doing a quick run on all of them because of how long the video is taking, and a quick explanation showing some of the things to watch out for and how to dodge some of them. As you've seen with Cryptic, I didn't really have to do much on most of them. There's certain attacks that the World Boss Ultimates will do that you definitely want to avoid. So the ones that are pointed out, definitely pay attention to those. Make sure that, if on, say like Corv or Prox, you get those circles below you, make sure that you're getting out of the way. And pay attention to the other hard-hitting ones, like with Corv, he jumps back to that wall, he shoots those fireballs out, but they show the lines beforehand, so as long as you're back far enough, you can run back and forth and dodge them. You got Ebony Maw, who will go through with right around 6 to 8 on his life bars, and he'll do that big circle. You want to run to the outside, he'll end up dropping meteors right behind you as you run around. All this stuff really matters a lot. So if you can do enough DPS to annihilate the world bosses, really not have to worry about it, great. But if you're having issues with beating the world bosses, it's something that you definitely want to pay attention to. But alright guys, I'm going to end up doing another run and doing another recording. I'll probably actually end up doing some more explanations, recapping on some stuff, probably double talking about some things. You know how that is, hard to keep track when the videos are so long. We'll just kind of put this in on as part 1. I'll post that one separate as part 2. Alright guys, other than that, you guys have a good night, good day, whatever it is, wherever you are.